Do you know someone who was president of the United States twice, but not in a row? Only 2 people in American history have done this. The second one is Donald Trump. His story is one of the most unusual and controversial in modern American politics. Donald Trump was born in New York City in 1946. He became a businessman, then a television star, and finally the President of the United States. He lost the presidency in 2020, but he came back and won again in 2024. His life shows us that nothing is impossible if you are determined and willing to fight. In this story, we will learn about Trump's journey. We will start with his childhood in Queens, New York. Then we will see how he built his real estate empire in Manhattan. We will discover how television made him a national celebrity. After that, we will learn about his surprising victory in the 2016 election and his controversial presidency. Finally, we will see how he returned to win the presidency again in 2024. This is a Level 3 graded reader story. It uses vocabulary and grammar appropriate for pre-intermediate English learners. As you listen, pay attention to new words and expressions. You might want to write down vocabulary that is new to you. Words like businessman, campaign, election, and controversial will appear many times. This repetition will help you remember them. This story will help you understand American politics and practice your English at the same time. Whether you agree with Trump's ideas or not, his story is important to know. It shows us how America works and how much things can change. If you are enjoying this story, please give this video a like. It helps other English learners find our content. And don't forget to subscribe to Story Fluent English for more graded reader stories. We have stories at all levels, from beginner to advanced. Find the level that is right for you and keep improving your English. Now, let's begin Donald Trump's story. Let's go back to 1946, to a neighborhood called Queens in New York City.
Chapter 1. A Boy from Queens.
Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in New York City. He was born in Queens, a part of New York. Queens is not the most famous part of the city, but it is big and busy. Donald's family lived in a nice house there. Donald's father was Fred Trump. Fred was a businessman. A businessman is someone who makes money by buying and selling things or building things. Fred built houses and apartment buildings. He built many buildings in Queens and Brooklyn. Fred was very successful. The Trump family had a lot of money. Donald had 4 siblings. Siblings are brothers and sisters. He had 2 brothers and 2 sisters. Donald was not the oldest child, but he was confident and strong. Even as a young boy, Donald wanted to be the best. He wanted to win at everything. Donald's father worked very hard. Fred woke up early every morning. He went to construction sites to check his buildings. A construction site is a place where people build something new. Donald sometimes went with his father. He watched the workers. He saw his father make deals and talk to people. Donald learned about business from his father. When Donald was 13 years old, his parents sent him to a military school. A military school is a special school with strict rules, like in the army. The school was called New York Military Academy. Donald's parents thought he needed more discipline. Discipline means following rules and working hard. At military school, Donald learned to be a leader. He played sports and studied. He was good at baseball. Donald also learned to be more organized and focused. He graduated from the military academy in 1964. After that, he went to college. In the next chapter, we will learn how Donald started working with his father. We will see how he built his own business empire in Manhattan.
Chapter 2. Building an Empire.
After military school, Donald Trump went to college. First, he studied at Fordham University for 2 years. Then he moved to the University of Pennsylvania. He studied economics there. Economics is about money, business, and how people buy and sell things. Donald graduated in 1968. After college, Donald joined his father's company. The company was called Elizabeth Trump and Son. They built apartment buildings for middle-class families. Middle class means people who are not rich but not poor. Fred Trump's buildings were in Queens and Brooklyn, far from the center of New York City. Donald worked with his father for several years. He learned how to manage buildings and make deals. A deal is an agreement in business. Donald was ambitious. Ambitious means wanting to do big things and be successful. He wanted more than his father's business. He wanted to build in Manhattan. Manhattan is the heart of New York City. It is the most famous part of the city. Manhattan has tall buildings, expensive stores, and rich people. Donald believed he could be successful there. His father was not sure. Building in Manhattan was more expensive and more difficult. In 1971, Donald moved to Manhattan. He rented a small apartment there. He wanted to be close to the action. He started looking for opportunities. An opportunity is a chance to do something good for your business. Donald found old buildings that he could buy and improve. Donald's big break came in 1978. A big break is an opportunity that changes everything. He started building Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue. Fifth Avenue is one of the most expensive streets in the world. Trump Tower would be a luxury building. Luxury means very expensive and beautiful. Trump Tower opened in 1983. It was 58 floors tall. The building had apartments, offices, and stores. Rich and famous people bought apartments there. Donald Trump also lived in the building. He had a huge apartment at the top. The apartment had gold decorations and beautiful views of the city. Trump Tower made Donald famous. People started to know his name. He appeared in magazines and on television. Donald loved the attention. Attention means when people notice you and talk about you. He put his name on all his buildings. Trump Tower, Trump Plaza, Trump Castle. His name became his brand. A brand is a name that people recognize and remember. During the 1980s, Donald built more buildings in New York. He also bought hotels and casinos. A casino is a place where people gamble and try to win money. He bought casinos in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Donald was becoming very rich and very famous. People called him a real estate mogul. A mogul is a very powerful and successful business person. But success was not always easy. Donald also had problems. Some of his businesses lost money. In the early 1990s, some of his casinos went bankrupt. Bankrupt means a business has no money and cannot pay its debts. Donald had to work hard to save his businesses. He made new deals and found new investors. An investor is someone who gives money to a business. By the late 1990s, Donald was successful again. He had learned important lessons. He knew that his name was valuable. People knew Trump meant luxury and success. Donald started licensing his name. Licensing means letting other people use your name on their products for money. Other companies paid Donald to use the Trump name on their buildings, even if he did not build them. In the next chapter, we will discover how Donald became a television star. We will see how a TV show made him even more famous across America.
Chapter 3: Fame and Television.
By the year 2000, Donald Trump was famous in New York. But most Americans did not know much about him. That changed because of television. Television would make Donald Trump a household name. A household name means everyone in the country knows who you are. In 2004, a new TV show started. The show was called The Apprentice. It was a reality TV show. Reality TV means the show follows real people, not actors. The show was about business. Every week, People competed to win a job with Donald Trump. They worked in teams and did business challenges. Donald Trump was the star of the show. He sat in a boardroom and watched the contestants. A boardroom is a room where business leaders meet. At the end of each episode, Donald fired someone. To fire someone means to tell them they lost and must leave. Donald's famous phrase was "You're fired." He pointed his finger and said these words. Everyone in America knew this phrase. The Apprentice was very popular. Millions of people watched it every week. The show ran for many seasons. Donald appeared in 14 seasons of the show. People loved watching him make tough decisions. They saw him as a strong, successful businessman. The show made Donald famous across the entire country. The TV show also made Donald richer. He earned a lot of money from the show. But more importantly, it made his brand stronger. More people wanted to buy Trump products. More companies wanted to license his name. Donald Trump became more than a businessman. He became a celebrity. A celebrity is a famous person that everyone recognizes. During this time, Donald also wrote books. His most famous book was The Art of the Deal. He wrote it in 1987, but it became more popular after The Apprentice started. The book was about how to be successful in business. It sold millions of copies. Donald wrote many other books too. All the books had Trump in the title. Donald also appeared on other TV shows and in movies. He was a guest on talk shows. He appeared in small roles in films. Sometimes he played himself. Donald enjoyed being famous. He gave interviews to newspapers and magazines. He always talked about his success and his buildings. But Donald Trump was also controversial. Controversial means many people disagree about you. Some people loved him. They thought he was smart and successful. They admired his confidence and his achievements. His supporters believed Donald could do anything. A supporter is someone who likes you and agrees with you. Other people did not like Donald Trump. His opponents thought he was too proud and too loud. An opponent is someone who disagrees with you or is against you. Some people thought he only cared about money and fame. They did not trust him. The media often wrote negative stories about him. The media means newspapers, TV news, and online news. Donald did not seem to care about critics. Critics are people who say negative things about you. He believed that any attention was good attention. Even negative news made people talk about him. Donald understood how to use the media. He knew how to get people's attention. By 2015, Donald Trump was one of the most famous people in America. He had buildings, a TV show, books, and products with his name. But Donald wanted something bigger. He started thinking about politics. Politics is about government and leading a country. In the next chapter, we will learn about Donald's decision to run for president. We will see how he ran a campaign that surprised everyone.
Chapter 4. Running for President.
In June 2015, Donald Trump made a big announcement. An announcement is when you tell people something important. He said he wanted to be President of the United States. Many people were surprised. Donald was a businessman and a TV star, not a politician. A politician is someone who works in government. Donald was not the only person who wanted to be president. Many other Republicans wanted the job too. Republicans are members of one of the two main political parties in America. The other main party is the Democrats. To become the Republican candidate, Donald had to win the primary elections. A primary election is when party members choose their candidate. Most people did not think Donald could win. Political experts said he had no experience in government. They said voters would not choose a businessman with no political background. But Donald had a plan. He would run a different kind of campaign. A campaign is all the work you do to try to get elected. Donald's campaign was unusual from the start. Most politicians are very careful about what they say. They use polite language and avoid controversial topics. But Donald was different. He said exactly what he thought. He was direct and sometimes rude. He did not follow the normal rules of politics. Donald held big rallies across America. A rally is a large public meeting where supporters come to hear a candidate speak. Thousands of people came to his rallies. They were loud and exciting. People wore red hats that said, "Make America Great Again." This was Donald's campaign slogan. A slogan is a short phrase that represents your ideas. "Make America Great Again" became very famous. Donald promised to bring back jobs to America. He promised to build a wall on the border with Mexico to stop illegal immigration. Immigration is when people move from one country to another country. He promised to make better trade deals with other countries. Trade means buying and selling goods between countries. Donald also used social media in a new way. He used Twitter constantly. He wrote his own tweets every day, sometimes many times a day. He shared his opinions about everything. He attacked his opponents on Twitter. He responded to critics. Traditional politicians used social media carefully, but Donald used it like a regular person. Many people loved Donald's style. His supporters said he was honest and brave. They said other politicians were too afraid to tell the truth. They believed Donald understood their problems. Many of his supporters felt ignored by traditional politicians. They thought Donald would fight for them. But Donald also had many opponents. Many people strongly disagreed with his ideas and his style. They thought some of his statements were offensive. Offensive means hurtful or disrespectful. His opponents organized protests against him. A protest is when people gather to show they disagree with something. The media talked about Donald Trump constantly. Some news channels supported him. Other news channels criticized him every day. But everyone talked about him. Donald got much more media attention than any other candidate. He understood that attention helped him, even negative attention. As the primary elections happened, Donald started winning. He won state after state. The other Republican candidates dropped out one by one. To drop out means to stop competing and quit the race. By summer 2016, Donald Trump was the official Republican candidate for president. Now Donald faced Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton was a Democrat and a very experienced politician. She had been a senator and Secretary of State. Most experts predicted Hillary would win easily. The polls showed Hillary ahead. A poll is a survey that asks people who they will vote for. But Donald campaigned hard. He traveled to important states. He held rally after rally. His message was simple. Washington was broken, and he would fix it. Washington means the US government and traditional politicians. He called himself an outsider who would change everything. On November 8, 2016, Americans voted. The results shocked the world. Donald Trump won the election. He would become the 45th President of the United States. His supporters celebrated. His opponents were devastated. Devastated means extremely upset and shocked. Donald Trump had done something many people thought was impossible. He had never held political office before. He had run a controversial campaign. But he had won. He would move into the White House in January 2017. In the next chapter, we will learn about Donald Trump's time as president. We will see the policies he created and the controversies he faced.
Chapter 5. President Trump.
On January 20, 2017, Donald Trump became President of the United States. He was 70 years old. He was the oldest person to become president for the first time. He was also the first president who had never been a politician or a military general before. President Trump's inauguration was controversial from the start. An inauguration is the ceremony when a new president officially begins the job. Donald gave a speech about his vision for America. He promised to put America first. This meant he would focus on American interests before helping other countries. President Trump immediately started making changes. He signed executive orders in his first weeks. An executive order is a rule that a president creates without asking Congress. Congress is the group of elected officials who make laws. Trump's first orders were about immigration and trade. These topics were very important to him. One of his first actions was a travel ban. A ban is a rule that stops something. The travel ban stopped people from several Muslim-majority countries from entering the United States. Trump said this would make America safer from terrorism. Terrorism is violence used to scare people for political reasons. But many people protested against the ban. They said it was unfair and discriminatory. Discriminatory means treating some people worse because of their religion or background. President Trump also focused on immigration inside the United States. He wanted to build a wall on the border with Mexico. This was one of his biggest campaign promises. The wall would be very expensive. Congress had to approve the money, and many members of Congress said no. Trump fought with Congress about the wall for his entire presidency. Some parts of the wall were built, but not as much as Trump wanted. Trade was another major focus. Trump believed previous trade deals were bad for American workers. He said other countries took advantage of America. To take advantage means to benefit while someone else loses. Trump pulled America out of some trade agreements. He started a trade war with China. A trade war is when countries put taxes on each other's products. Trump believed this would bring manufacturing jobs back to America. President Trump communicated differently than previous presidents. He continued using Twitter every day. He tweeted his opinions about everything: politics, the media, his opponents, even TV shows. Sometimes he tweeted very early in the morning. His tweets often caused controversy. His supporters loved that he spoke directly to the people. His opponents thought his tweets were unpresidential. Unpresidential means not behaving the way a president should. The media and President Trump fought constantly. Trump called negative news stories fake news. Fake news means false information. He said many journalists were dishonest and biased. Biased means unfairly favoring one side. Trump held his own rallies even after becoming president. At these rallies, he attacked the media. His supporters agreed with him. But journalists said they were just doing their jobs by reporting facts. Trump's presidency was very polarizing. Polarizing means dividing people into two opposite groups. People either strongly supported him or strongly opposed him. Very few people felt neutral. Neutral means not taking either side. Trump's supporters loved his policies and his fighting spirit. They went to his rallies wearing red MAGA hats. They defended him against all criticism. Trump's opponents organized large protests. Millions of people marched in cities across America. They disagreed with his policies on immigration, healthcare, and the environment. The environment means the natural world around us: air, water, land. Trump's opponents wanted him out of office. In 2019 and 2020, Congress impeached President Trump twice. To impeach means Congress officially accuses the president of doing something wrong. The first impeachment was about Trump's phone call with Ukraine's president. The second was about events on January 6, 2021. But both times, the Senate voted not to remove Trump from office. The Senate is part of Congress that makes the final decision in impeachment. In 2020, President Trump ran for re-election. Re-election means trying to be elected again. He faced Joe Biden, a Democrat who had been vice president under Barack Obama. The campaign happened during the COVID-19 pandemic. A pandemic is when a disease spreads across the whole world. Trump said he handled the pandemic well. His opponents said he made mistakes. The election in November 2020 was very close in some states. But after all votes were counted, Joe Biden won. Biden would become the next president. Trump refused to accept the results. He said the election was stolen from him. He said there was fraud. Fraud means cheating or lying to win. Trump filed many lawsuits in court. A lawsuit is when you ask a judge to make a decision. But judges rejected his claims. They said there was no evidence of major fraud. On January 6, 2021, Congress met to certify the election results. To certify means to officially confirm something is true. Trump held a rally that morning. He told his supporters to go to the Capitol building. The Capitol is where Congress works. A large crowd of Trump supporters went to the Capitol. Some people broke into the building. They wanted to stop Congress from certifying Biden's victory. This event shocked the nation and the world. 2 weeks later, on January 20, 2021, Joe Biden became president. Donald Trump left the White House. He did not attend Biden's inauguration. This was unusual. Usually, the old president welcomes the new president. Trump went to his home in Florida instead. Trump's presidency was over. But his story was not finished. In the next chapter, we will learn about what happened after Trump left office. We will see how he returned to win the presidency again in 2024.
Chapter 6: The Return.
After leaving the White House in January 2021, Donald Trump moved to Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago is his private club and home in Palm Beach, Florida. It is a large, luxury estate by the ocean. An estate is a big property with land and buildings. Trump had lived there part-time for many years, but now it became his main home. Many people wondered what Trump would do next. Most former presidents retire from politics. To retire means to stop working and rest. They write books, give speeches, and avoid political fights. But Donald Trump was different. He did not want to retire. He stayed very active and visible. Trump continued to hold rallies. Thousands of supporters came to hear him speak. At these rallies, Trump repeated his claim that the 2020 election was stolen. Many Republicans believed him. Other Republicans disagreed and said Biden won fairly. This disagreement divided the Republican Party. To divide means to split into different groups. Trump also faced legal problems. Legal means related to the law and courts. Several investigations looked at Trump's businesses and his actions as president. In 2023, Trump was indicted 4 times. To be indicted means to be formally accused of crimes. No former president had ever been indicted before. Trump said all the charges were political. He said his opponents wanted to stop him from running for president again. But the indictments did not stop Trump. In November 2022, he announced he would run for president again in 2024. His supporters were excited. His opponents were worried. Many people thought Trump was too controversial and too old. He would be 78 years old on election day. But Trump was determined. Determined means you have decided to do something and will not give up. Other Republicans also wanted to be the candidate. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was seen as Trump's main opponent in the primary. Several other Republicans joined the race too. But Trump was still very popular with Republican voters. His supporters were loyal. Loyal means they support you no matter what. The primary elections began in early 2024. Trump won the first states easily. His opponents could not compete with his popularity. One by one, the other candidates dropped out. By spring 2024, Donald Trump was the Republican candidate again. Trump's 2024 campaign was similar to his 2016 campaign. He held big rallies with thousands of people. He promised to fix immigration, lower prices, and make America strong again. He said the economy was better when he was president. The economy means jobs, prices, and money in a country. He criticized President Biden's policies. Trump chose J.D. Vance as his running mate. A running mate is the person who will be vice president. Vance was a senator from Ohio and a younger Republican. He supported Trump's agenda. An agenda is a list of things you want to accomplish. The Democratic candidate was Vice President Kamala Harris. President Biden had decided not to run for re-election. Harris became the first woman of color to be a major party's presidential candidate. The race between Trump and Harris was very competitive. Competitive means both sides have a good chance to win. The campaign was intense. Intense means very strong and emotional. Both candidates traveled across the country. They debated on television. A debate is when candidates answer questions and argue about their positions. Both sides spent millions of dollars on advertisements. The media covered every moment of the campaign. Trump faced unique challenges during the campaign. He had to go to court for his legal cases. Sometimes he campaigned in the morning and went to court in the afternoon. His supporters said the legal cases proved his opponents were afraid of him. His opponents said the cases showed Trump broke the law. Election day was November 5, 2024. Americans voted in large numbers. The race was very close in several important states. These states would decide who won. Everyone waited nervously for the results. Nervously means with worry and anxiety. As the votes were counted, a pattern emerged. To emerge means to become clear. Trump was winning in the key states. He won Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Wisconsin. These were states Biden had won in 2020. Trump also won North Carolina and Arizona. The electoral votes added up. Electoral votes are how America chooses the president. Each state has a certain number based on population. By the next morning, it was clear, Donald Trump won. He would be president again. Trump became only the second president in American history to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. Non-consecutive means not one after another. The first was Grover Cleveland in the 1880s and 1890s. Trump had done something very rare. Trump supporters celebrated across the country. They believed he deserved another chance. They thought he would fix the problems facing America. His opponents were disappointed and concerned. Concerned means worried about what might happen. On January 20, 2025, Donald Trump was inaugurated as president for the second time. He was 78 years old. He became the oldest president in American history. Trump stood in front of the Capitol, the same building where the riots happened 4 years earlier. He took the oath of office. An oath is a serious promise. In his inaugural speech, Trump promised to unite the country and solve its problems. He said he would lower prices, secure the border, and make America respected around the world. Some people were hopeful. Others remained skeptical. Skeptical means having doubts and not fully believing. Donald Trump's return to the presidency was historic. No matter what people think about him, his story is remarkable. Remarkable means very unusual and worth noticing. From a boy in Queens to a businessman in Manhattan, from a TV star to president, Trump's journey shows that anything is possible in America. His supporters see him as a strong leader who fights for ordinary Americans. His opponents see him as a dangerous and divisive figure. Divisive means causing disagreement and separating people. But everyone agrees on one thing: Donald Trump changed American politics forever. Conclusion. Donald Trump's story is truly unique in American history. We have learned about his journey from a boy in Queens to one of the most famous and controversial people in the world. He built a real estate empire, became a television star, won the presidency, lost it, and then won it back again. Very few people have had such an unusual and dramatic life. Trump faced many challenges in his life. His businesses went bankrupt in the 1990s, but he recovered. He had no political experience, but he won the presidency. He lost in 2020, but he did not give up. He faced legal problems, but he kept fighting. Whether you agree with him or not, his story shows determination and resilience. Resilience means the ability to recover from difficulties. Trump's story also teaches us about modern America. It shows us how divided the country has become. Some Americans love Trump and see him as a strong leader who fights for them. Other Americans strongly oppose him and worry about his leadership. This division is one of the most important features of American politics today. Trump's impact on politics will last for many years. He changed how politicians communicate. He showed that social media can be more powerful than traditional media. He proved that political outsiders can win. He made American politics more emotional and more personal. Future politicians will study Trump's methods, whether they like him or not. What can we learn from Trump's story? Perhaps we learn that success is not a straight line. Trump had failures, but he kept going. We also learn that being different can be powerful. Trump did not follow the normal rules, and many people liked that. Finally, we learn that determination matters. Trump wanted to be president again, and he worked hard to make it happen. Thank you for listening to this story about Donald Trump. We hope you learned new English vocabulary and improved your listening skills. We also hope you understand American politics a little better now. If you enjoyed this story, please give us a like. It really helps our channel grow. And please subscribe to Story Fluent English for more graded reader stories about famous people and important events. We have stories at all 5 levels, from beginner to advanced. Choose the level that matches your English ability and keep learning. Finally, if you know someone who is learning English, please share this video with them. Learning English together makes it more fun and easier. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next story.